All right, let's talk about one of the trickiest, but honestly most important parts of sounding natural in English. Tag questions. We're going to uncover these 7 secret rules that I promise will totally level up your conversation skills. I mean, you probably think you do, right? You make a statement, you stick a little question on the end. Simple. It's a nice day, isn't it? You finished your work, haven't you? But is it really that simple? So, pretty much everyone learns what I call the golden rule. It's like magnets, opposites attract. If your main statement is positive, the tag is negative. You are coming, aren't you? And if the statement is negative, the tag is positive. You aren't leaving, are you? That's the foundation, for sure, but it's only the first floor of the building. Okay, so you've got the golden rule down. You're feeling confident, but then you run into something like this. So, what do you put in the blank here? Logically, following the rule, I am is positive, so the tag should be negative. Am not I? Which would be, amt I? Yeah, that just sounds weird, doesn't it? That's because it's completely wrong. And this is where it gets interesting. It's time to meet the rule breakers. These are the special cases that native speakers use all the time without even thinking about it. And knowing them is what separates sounding good from sounding great. We're going to go through 7 of these key exceptions. And once you know them, your conversational English is just going to sound so much more authentic. So let's get into it. Okay, so our first group of rule breakers is all about the subject of the sentence. The person or thing we're talking about. Specifically, we're looking at some pronouns that just don't play by the normal rules. And here it is, the answer to our little puzzle from before. When your sentence starts with I am, the tag is always aren't I. It makes no logical sense, I know, but that's just how it is. I'm doing a great job, aren't I? Just burn this one into your memory, it's a big one. Next up, words like everyone, somebody, or nobody. Now these feel singular, don't they? But for the tag question, we treat them as plural. We use they. So, everyone had a good time, didn't they? And look at the example here. Nobody called. That's already negative, so the tag is positive. Did they? Let's move on to our next set of exceptions. These are less about grammar and more about what we're trying to do with our words, like giving orders or making suggestions in a, slightly nicer way. So when you give a command, what we call an imperative, like close the window, you can pretty much forget the whole positive-negative rule. You just add will you at the end. It softens the command and turns it into a more polite request. Pass the salt, will you? Super useful. Oh, you're gonna love this one because it's so easy. Anytime, and I mean anytime, a sentence starts with let's, the tag is shall we. That's it. It's a fixed phrase. Let's order a pizza, shall we? Easy win. All right, we are on the home stretch now. Our final set of rule breakers is a bit of a mixed bag. It's got words that are secretly negative and a couple of common phrases that just have their own special way of doing things. Okay, now this one is really important. You have to look at the meaning of the sentence. Words like never, hardly, nobody, nothing, they make the whole statement negative, even if the verb itself looks positive. So, because the sentence is already negative, the tag has to be positive. You never say thank you, do you? Nothing was lost, was it? Used to is all about the past, right? It's something that happened before but doesn't happen now. So, when you make a tag question, you just treat it like the simple past tense. And what's the helper verb for the simple past? It's did. So, he used to have long hair, didn't he? Simple as that. And our final exception. You'll hear this one all the time, especially in British English. When we use have got to talk about possessing something, the have is our little helper verb. So the tag just uses have again. She's got 2 brothers, hasn't she? It's a really direct pairing. So, we've gone through all these little rules and exceptions. Why does this actually matter? Well, because getting these right is one of the biggest signals that you've moved beyond just learning English and you're starting to really feel it. It's about catching the little details that make you sound like a local. So here's your plan of attack. First, make sure you are totally solid on that basic positive-negative golden rule. Second, work on memorizing these 7 exceptions. And third, and this is the most important part, start listening for them. In movies, TV shows, podcasts, once you start looking, you'll hear them everywhere. So let's think about this again. A tag question isn't just a grammar exercise. It's a real tool for conversation. And using these exceptions correctly, well, that's not just about being correct. It's about showing that you truly have a command of the language. It's a massive sign of fluency. You know, all this talk about rules and rule breakers kind of makes you think, doesn't it? We just saw how the basic rule for tag questions has all these other secret rules. So it makes me wonder, what other big grammar rule in English do you think is actually broken, or at least bent all the time? Something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.